Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So, if you don't know what this game is, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is a localized duology of the Great Ace Attorney games. If you don't know what the Great Ace Attorney is, it is a quote-unquote spin-off of the main Ace Attorney series, starring Phoenix Wright's ancestor. Basically a Phoenix Wright's ancestor becomes a lawyer and just confirms the fact that Phoenix Wright comes from a long line of lawyers, because his great-grandfather was a lawyer, his grandfather was presumably a lawyer, his father was probably a lawyer before him, and Phoenix himself is a lawyer in the present day. So, yeah, it just kind of sets up this long line of lawyers, doesn't it? But in any case, the story is, I'm not entirely sure what the story is. All I know is that this game was, up until to yesterday, or at least today, the day I'm recording this, up until this game was released, these two games were actually a Japan only series of games. You could not play the Great Ace Attorney in any area outside of Japan. It wasn't until very recently, when this game got released, that both of those games were finally localized. So now, we Westerners who like the Ace Attorney series can actually play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles in America, or wherever else they've been localized. With this only leaves like one game in the Ace Attorney series that hasn't been localized, being Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which for poor sales was never localized, but that's beside the point. In any case, not important to that, but the point is, this game's finally been localized for us to play, so I'm just gonna shut up and start playing it. You guys already know what Ace Attorney is about, so I'm not gonna explain it to you guys. But in any case, we're gonna just get into it. So without further ado, let's get started. And press the button. Select adventure. Ooh. Oh, okay. I have to pick one. Great Ace Attorney Adventures or Great Ace Attorney Resolve. I think we're gonna start with the first game. So it's very much like Great Ace Attorney. It's very much like the actual Ace Attorney, or at least the trilogy, where you get to play from multiple games at once. I'm just gonna go into the new game. So what's in Select Adventure? Oh, I see. Okay, I think these are locked until I actually beat them. I'm pretty sure. So I think I'm just gonna start with the new game. Ooh, animated cutscenes. That's new.
The Empire of Japan, after opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Huh. Yeah, this takes place in the 19th century, by the way. Ooh. Uh-oh.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
There's our buddy. Okay, so... The Adventure of the Great Departure. Okay, so is that just a thing? That's just a recurring thing? Okay, so that's just confirming that Phoenix isn't the only person in his family to get arrested falsely for murder. 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature defendants Antechamber 5. That is some very old-timely old English. That's gonna be very confusing if the entire game's like that. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Hello, friend. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. Alright. Ryunosuke. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yeah, I've already discussed this in my playthrough of the Ace Attorney trilogy, but Naruhodo is Wright's name in Japan. It's or at least his last name. I don't know what his first name is, but so yeah, canonically, depending on whether you're playing the localized version or the main actual version, Ace Attorney is either set in Japan or America, depending on whether you're playing the localized version or not. So yeah, in Japan, in the Japanese version of the game, his last name is Naruhodo, which loosely translates to "I see." Very much formulating the fact that Wright's name is a pun. Actually, they wanted to make the whole thing a pun, where his name was originally supposed to be "Oh yes, I see now," but they decided against that and just went with Phoenix Wright. But yeah, we gotta go. But yeah, we're reintroducing Ryunosuke now. So yeah, he shares a similar name convention with his descendant, which is fun. I'm a second-year student at Imperial Yumai University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. This guy's got a sword. I like him already. It's just technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Alright. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yumi University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Okay. I like this guy, right? Kazuma Asagi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yumai University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Are we going to actually find out the story? Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I had to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear. Look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Alright, so what's the story behind what happened to Ryunosuke? We know he didn't actually... It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Alright. Asagi, may I have a word? Yeah? Hello? Who are you? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asagi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Alright. So interestingly, who is this guy then? Hi! Who are you? This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yuma University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asagi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asagi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, if I'm not found not guilty, or if I'm found guilty, that's a better way of wording it. If I'm found guilty, he doesn't get to study abroad. So a lot of things are resting on this trial. I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected. You were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asagi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. Okay, so if he does... It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I see. So they're only going to pick lawyers that they know are actually good at their job. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. Yeah, but do you not know who I am? My descendant is a very famous and very skilled defense attorney. I'm pretty sure I will be personally fine. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Fun! Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But, then what should I do? Well... Naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Alright. It would seem our superstitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty or for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, With absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. And the destiny of all your ancestors, considering where Phoenix Wright wound up. Considering how Phoenix wound up, the destiny of your entire family. I get the feeling Phoenix probably heard about his great-grandfather's success in court and just decided to become a lawyer based on that. 22nd November, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Actually, no, now that I think about it, it was because of an incident in grade school that he decided to become a defense attorney. Never mind. Although, that doesn't mean he couldn't have heard stories about his great-grandpap, but I don't know. I'm not sure if Naruhodo is ever brought up in the main series, like at all. But that would be interesting if he was. Actually, I think that was released very late in the series run, so probably not. Or at least not yet. If they ever make an Ace Attorney 7, 8, or 9, maybe they'll bring him up then, but I have no idea. But in any case, so this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Alright. Oh my... Wait a minute. Hold on a second. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. Is that Winston Payne's ancestor? Is that supposed to be like this game's version of Winston Payne? Is that who that's supposed to be? I'm pretty sure they look very, if it is a coincidence, it looks almost exactly like him. So I'm guessing yes. Also, I think that's his actual Japanese name. So I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a thing. Also, obviously, Aochi is a pun as well. Obviously, yes, it refers to being injured, but I think it's also a pun that means in great pain, please help me, or something like that. But, prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. And Ryunosuke is just kind of bugging out because he has no idea what's going on. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? It said answer I do, so I'm gonna... Options? Can I save? Yeah, I can save. Records, save. I'm just gonna save over my... it has autosave! That's different! Okay. Alright, so... Well, we know that if we say okay. I don't have much choice in the matter. Obviously, time is frozen, but... If I wait... It says answer I do, which means... He said answer I do. I'm gonna do what the professor told me to do and answer I do, because... Well, that's what he told me to do, and that's what he seems to think I needed to do. I'm gonna do that. Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. Do you think I wouldn't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Tisk, Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Alright. Well, time to play defense attorney. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really? Objection! Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. He's exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. Yeah, I can tell, you're fidgety. Look how fidgety this guy is. In fact, my mind's gone complete blank. Exactly like his descendant. Exactly like Phoenix. I mean, I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judication in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standard of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. Alright, what was it again? You're nice again. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. I don't think they've mentioned the name of the victim once. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. Ooh! Okay, so same as the original. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of... Oh, okay. Exactly. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. Okay. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. Okay. Alright, this is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people with it in R. Okay. Alright. Okay, you'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Okay. So remember, everything you do with the current case can be found in the court record. Okay, I'm gonna pop open the court record again because I actually have no idea. John H. Wilson, the victim in this case. Alright, he was visiting professor of medicine at Yuma University from the British Empire. Okay. The lead prosecutor of this case, he would appear to have little love for the changes of cultural reformation has brought about. Okay. Tatsuki Ouchi. It's a pun. It's literally English for ouch. It literally means ouch. It's funny. Alright, but in any case, we can move on now. Now, you better not keep us excellently waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now. Okay, we know this. Present! Yes. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Tush tush. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. Alright, the British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And, as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of Anglo-Japanese Treaty or Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Unimite University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. Humph. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. Alright. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why the trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. Alright. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Alright. Oh dear. Look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Okay, so that's the story. Alright, now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? Ooh, court record. Post-mortem report, death was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Alright. Say before the court the cause of death. Okay. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Renosuke, remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Well, we already know what it is. It's this.
Yes.
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes. That's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects a corpse to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be testing any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. Alright. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the gunpowder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the court. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. Alright, so that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Alright. So, yeah, okay, because it's 19th century. Cameras were just recently invented. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Oh, that was only the warm-up. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, The prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He didn't say you couldn't assist! Yeah, okay, that makes sense. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but... any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Alright, well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, hello! You... Okay. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called the La Carnival. Ahem, ahem. He's coughing up blood. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. Alright, this grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Alright. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. Well? Alright. In any case, at once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We had a few diners at the time of day. Alright, the lunchtime rush was over, and there was only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in that place. Ahem, ahem. And again, he's coughing up blood. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining table to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes. Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. Alright. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in the court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? That white towel should be ruined. No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I'm gonna just... Options? I'm gonna save, just to be on the safe side. Just make sure you save. I'm just making sure I save. interject, because that's not right. That's wrong.
Yes.
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosanage-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Ahem, ahem! I actually have a rough plan for the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. That's interesting. So, the court has now heard a priestess of the case. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? I would say go... What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, is it? It seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? He's not happy with me. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikitoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. And are you just going to abandon that duty, or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Alright. Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can't be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, the dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Wait, witnesses plural? Oh! We have to interview multiple witnesses at once. That's different. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Surgeon Ieyasu Nosa reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employee as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Kortukota at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing! Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios of what I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Me neither! I'm having a very hard time reading the dialogue box. There are a lot of really big words in that, and I am having trouble pronouncing some of them because I don't know all of them. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He's obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he's be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. Sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. Alright. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Fair enough. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Acerbic afternoon, never mind. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation of beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Ooh. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysterious, absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. The wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Rinosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where our professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's certainly the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who the criminal was. There is? Ryonosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, this testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Right. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands the right to cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Pachacamaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defense obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Gulp. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statement. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key is to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. Alright, all you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Alright, time to prove ourselves innocent. Okay, so what the witnesses saw. Okay. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at a restaurant while having a tactful discussion with the old man. Myself, I'm extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed Vasily cadet fired at the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Alright, wait. Hold on. We need to press everything. I'm gonna press this. Just making sure everything... I'm pretty sure I know what I'm looking for. Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is there some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright. Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tishun, huh? Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as high as decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Alright. Tishun! Ah. Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed into breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict to atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative. Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what question to ask. Alright, Prime Presser. Haha! I got an achievement for that. Myself, okay. Press. Alright. I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoi period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant of the following day with said item secreted in my bosom pocket. In the hope that of an affluent cognizant appraised it for its indubitable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant. Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Although, penniless might be just the word I'm looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. So it was beyond noon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about the matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Okay. Alright, at that precise moment a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling, like a madman as you train the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just 1 point, please. What's the matter, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. R. A double R. My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy raining from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I've gotten where I'm going, where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier was absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Alright, the black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back hit with the cowardly little weasel. Actually, where's the autopsy report? Ah! I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do. If we push this, if we present this, we'll have caught him.
Yes!
There we go. Alright. Everybody's just waiting in pure silence. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographer print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. Just, what nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. Humph. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Cosma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photograph present by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Inasi Nosa? Yes, sir? What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes.
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because. Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, According to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, well, Oh, I see now. Okay, there's a baby. What? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back when he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy here with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nasa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iniesta Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Yeah. Alright, inconsistency seer awarded. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Roll. Okay, that's funny. Is that the first time somebody's actually said that in the series? Like being an ace attorney? That's funny. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed! The Hoey era Koban, my prize coin! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a peculiar trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoey treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, and did not. But I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest moment, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happens. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoey treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoey Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf in the back. Oh, he's got more witnesses. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? For Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? As clear as curacle glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signals to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are assigned to the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, Tenshun. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Okay, so he's Alright. So those straps are he tied them up to make it look like, to not make it look like if he was actually babysitting. Okay, that's funny. Alright, the true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Strange. Okay, so we gotta figure this out. These testimonies are certainly purely... Yes! Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was lying, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As complainantly seen, there's only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photograph print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Alright, I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. Okay, well, time to investigate that. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Achi, would have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Rinosuke. It's not over yet. Okay, what? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. To draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know of Kazuma. Alright. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witness, but make it quick. Understood? Test rules can be so unbending at times. I don't like... I mean, he's as arrogant as his descendant. He's very much like Winston Payne. He's very arrogant and believes he's right, even though he's not. True culprit. Alright, in any case, even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the frame was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes.
No, it is not. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed police officer versus that of a fletching cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, the defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Okay, fair enough. Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all. Don't you? Grr. And let's not forget that the antique steerer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Koretsuko-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was the young lad in black. That much I did see myself.
Yes.
Press? Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And that exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond of control life is. Sorry? What did you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Alright. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. I'm curious. What does this actual picture look like? Examine. Magnifying glass. Okay, I don't know what this does. Okay, so this is how we can further examine evidence. I don't really know how useful this is going to be, but we can also examine this. Wait a minute. Hold on. Examine. That's the wrong table. What the hell? Alright. Press. I'm gonna keep pressing because I have no idea. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have said at pains to the point of time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner at any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was still eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hata Clinic. Yes, there would indeed be an entry for the date in question. Hata? As in Hati Clinic? Okay, I guess that's another connection to the main series, I think. I'm not entirely 100%. I'm gonna have to Google that. Also my ears hurt, but... 19th century November, noon or past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So, the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution feels no need to submit this evidence before, as it really had no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card? Everything should be submitted as evidence.
Yes!
Alright. If I may, I'd like to ask that the medical report card be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Alright. Whether or not they are of any concern is up to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for a submission of evidence. Alright. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Also, tisk. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Alright. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. The victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record. Also, I've been recording for an hour and 11 minutes. I'm not sure how much longer this is. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurikujo-san. Alright, indeed, alone he was, the English gentleman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
Alright. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. Ooh. That I did! Forgive me for the position I placed you in. Why the hesitation? So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Alright. Therefore, no one else could, other than that black uniform-clad cadet, could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It's a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Just Alright. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? Oh, that's what it is. Alright, you'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you'll take a closer look at the piece in question. Okay. Alright. Interesting. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using... Okay. Okay. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Okay. If the crosshairs start pulsating, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there's something new to be learned from examining in more detail. I can do that. I can't examine it. Oh. Alright. I'll see what I can do. I need to use... Okay. Okay, everything I've ever said looks suspicious. Okay. Oh. Name Dr. John Wilson Hofstra Clinic. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brr. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Mail report required for every visit. Hello. Alright. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Oh! Perhaps they lose laughing gas. This is the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, sir, I heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling the pain. Wait! I know how this connects! Oh, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for the 3-hour post-procedure, until the anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated. It's in the court record. Records sent to work on the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and had been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you think? Definitely. Alright. Alright, even if I saw... Okay. Just pointing... Okay. Which one? Which statement do I press? I'm gonna press this one. I believe this one. So you actually saw that with your own eyes. That I did. Forgive... Okay. So testimony is all the man and soldier... Okay. As it can clearly be seen, there's only one stake beats... Okay. No. Hold on. Okay, so... Alright, we gotta figure out which state... I need to figure out which statement I'm supposed to press. Alright, let's press this again.
Yes.
I need to figure out what I'm doing. You must not know someone else that Dr. Wilson stable.
Attention.
Unfortunately... Alright. Okay. Okay, but... Wait. If we present... Hold on. But if we were presenting on the day of the underground den... Okay. He couldn't... Let's try presenting this. Back? Hold on, I'm gonna... Options? I'm gonna save. Record, save. Save this guy. Yes, we're gonna save this one. And if I'm wrong, I can always just go back to that save. Alright, so... Okay, let's present it.
Yes.
There we go. It is it. Alright. Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke? Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You know exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Okay, alright. And thanks for the advice. Kurotsuka-san, this is a medical report belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered by the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Grr. But that's, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. The medical record report cards no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else beside this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That empress half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating, just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kurotsuka-san? What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No! Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Grr. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
Alright. What is this nonsense? You little upstart. These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning of this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been, and as of yet unknown party, the woman I keep talking about. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else eating there. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge for formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. Kazuma? Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have an issue with them. These two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it is now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! Okay, this is getting interesting. Hold it. Negative! There was no mention of this in the technical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw a gentleman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kuza-san? No! You were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, your pair? Just one simple of tongue. Order. Counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchi had any idea of it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there's only a handful of possibilities. It could have only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witness keep their mouths shut. Well, of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before. We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. Alright, I want answers! If it's proven true that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait! Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this! I swear to every Shinto god! I knew nothing! And what does the defense have to say about all of this? Well, Your Excellency? No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout the first name that comes into my head. Alright. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is... Hosonaga, the head waiter of the European... There's so many witnesses. Well, actually... Well, there's only one other person. There's only one other person in this case. Mikatoba. Well, well, this guy acted weird when he handed the Well, the only other guy I can think of is this dude. The head waiter. It wouldn't be this guy. The only thing I can think of is this dude. Because he's the only other person that he was the only other person I can think of. And obviously this guy was the guy who wanted me to take the defense. So it wouldn't be him. It would have to have been this guy. This Let's try that. Options. Save. Alright, I only have half an hour before I need to call it quits, so I hope this wraps up soon. I'm gonna present this guy.
Yes.
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. Oh! What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Sonosuke's real identity, as proven by this evidence. Examine. Ah! Chief Inspector Sakuto Hironaga. Primary Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? Yep, I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're willing it somehow here. The waiter's business card information has been updated. Okay. Now we have the information we need to actually pursue this case. Present. Yes. Now that it's been updated. The plan of the restaurant sketch from the man in the question? I agree it's somehow a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Alright. Yes! It is the front of the back of the card. That's what I'm telling that's where the telling detail is. That was very hard to follow. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good. Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. Alright, so, witness is there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you've seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... There he is. Inspector Hasanaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Okay. The court will take this plan and add it to the court records as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand over the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all the investigations flawlessly. It is my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your salary must be I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point of the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that's indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Yes. Ahem, ahem. Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Bang. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at this point. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. This is going to be interesting. Alright. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, as a young English woman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was certain Miss Jezebel Brett. Jeziel Brett. She's indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yuma University's medical faculty. What? What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erase all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and order these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. Alright, but, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraph report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings in my courtroom. Inspector Hasanaga? Yes, sir? You will locate this Jezebel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. Okay, so I think we're wrapping up here. But that means you'll be going against the special orders that you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it wouldn't be a problem? Ahem, 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 ahem. Nothing will get in my way. Alright. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Alright. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Okay. That was fun. To be continued. Alright, so that is indeed the end of... Okay, so it plays very much like Ace Attorney does. Okay, so that was interesting. Save your current progress. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave this... There's actual music, but I think I'm gonna leave this episode... There's no music on the save screen for the original Ace Attorney games. So, yeah. In any case, I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. So, this is an interesting first episode to get into. Obviously, it's a little bit longer than what I usually record by a long shot. But I do think it is a good first episode to go out for this series because, well, obviously we've done quite a bit in this episode. We've done quite a bit in this chapter. So yeah, this episode sets up the premise of the Great Ace Attorney. It's set in the 19th century, and well, long story short, it shows the origin point of Yorinosuke Naruhodo and how he wound up becoming a defense attorney. As it turned out, he started defending himself in court after he was accused of a murder he did not commit. And oddly enough, his ancestor actually wound up following in his footsteps because he was also accused of murder at least once. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, and also Winston Payne's ancestor is here as well, and he's the prosecution for the case. And that's kind of interesting as well. But in any case, I do think I'm going to leave this episode here, and this premise is interesting. The idea of having to grill multiple witnesses at once is actually pretty interesting as well. So that's an interesting mechanic, and I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold in later episodes of this series. But for right now, I'm going to leave this episode here, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter in the description below. If you want to help if you want to keep up to date with what's going on the channel, Twitter is the best way to do that. Be sure to support me on Patreon if you want to help fund future projects. It's only a couple bucks a month. And it does help me out, so if you do want to do that, by all means, go ahead. Link is down in the description. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well. No, be sure to follow me on Twitch as well, because I stream every 2:30 Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. If you guys want to go see that, by all means, link is down in the description. You can also go there by going to twitch.tv/ZackMars.Switch. So be sure to go check that out. And finally, if you want to see more content from me, then be sure to check out the videos linked in the end screen. The top video is the most recent video. It may or may not be this one. Whereas the bottom video is the video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. But, regardless of whether or not you do any or all those things, thank you guys so much for watching. As next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!